Here it is. It is time. Our first look at Joseph of Egypt. Now, Dallas is going to give us a little bit of background on what's going on here. How can they afford to do Joseph of Egypt as well as The Chosen, and everything that has to go along with that. Then we're going to jump into a little bit of a video with Chris and Jelaine, who were on set for part of the filming for this season, the only season of Joseph of Egypt, a mini series that is going to be coming out by 5 and 2, and of course Amazon Prime, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Here, let's jump into this and listen to Dallas speak.
And telling more stories from the Bible and connecting them all. All of these stories are going to be connected. Some of the, you've seen in, for example, I announced that I'm going to be doing a Moses show when we're done with the Chosen Mothership show. Well, we've already introduced Moses in the first few seasons of The Chosen, right? You've seen you've seen at least one flashback of Moses in season 1, I believe it was. And so we want to do things like that where we're kind of creating this universe of shows that are all connected, right? And of course, because the Bible is connected. And so we committed to this Joseph miniseries.
Okay, so before he gets into this whole thing here, why is he talking about all the shows being connected, right? As super sleuths, we have to determine why he is talking about these different things, right? What is the clues that he's giving us for the future? It's not that we're going to see Jesus in the Joseph show. At least I don't think that that's what he's doing here, although it's possible, right? We could see Jonathan Rumi randomly show up in the Joseph show. But what is more probable, because the Joseph show is only 1 season long, it's only 8 episodes and then it's done. What's more probable is that we are going to see characters from the Joseph series, from the Moses series, from these other things, probably within The Chosen, right? That makes a lot more sense to me. So either we're getting flash forwards or flashbacks or different things like that that point us towards these other periods in time. Because otherwise, how would these shows be connected in any way if they're not multi-season shows, right? We already know that in the Moses show, for example, we're going to get the Transfiguration. Yes, the Transfiguration will be in the Moses show. We heard about this during ChosenCon last year. And we know that this is going to happen basically as Moses encounters God and as Elijah encounters God probably as well. We're going to see Jesus be the physical bodily form of God that shows up in those areas. Jesus pre-incarnate. So of course, this is most likely going to be Jonathan Rumi who is doing these scenes along with them. And my guess is that we probably also see Peter and John in these scenes as well, which is going to be after The Chosen is already finished. So it's going to be this massive, kind of like, hey, we're here sort of moment, right? It's going to be really, really amazing. However, to hear that Joseph is going to be connected to these things too, most likely that means that we're going to have Joseph or some other of his family, right? Jacob, whoever else, right? Connected to The Chosen or the future Moses series or something else, right? Because the whole point of them hiring Mark Sorian, if you remember him, is because they wanted to be the biblical cinematic universe, just like Marvel has done, just like DC has done. They want to have their own biblical universe that is all connected throughout different shows and movies and things like that. And so we're going to be seeing way more of that here. That's the clues that he's giving us here of what we should be seeing in the future. So we should be expecting to see Joseph or Moses or all these different people maybe connected to the future of what is happening in The Chosen. It should be really, really interesting to see.
And Prime Video is financing and producing this Joseph miniseries. Now, for one second, you're thinking, well, I thought you guys were doing it. Yes, 5 and 2 Studios. We are the ones who are creatively overseeing this project. I am the final say, the final creative say on every project that 5 and 2 Studios does. So you never have to worry about that. We also make sure that all of these shows that we do and all these projects, that includes The Chosen Adventures, that includes Chosen in the Wild with Bear Grylls, that includes the, have I been saying the word includes?
A little bit.
It feels like I've been like mush mouth, but anyway. That includes the David movie that I'm about to talk about after I show you this little bit from Joseph. But all these projects also go under our theological review. So our panel of Bible experts, including even Come and See's Bible experts, they watch these projects, read the scripts to make sure that we are following within the guidelines that we have set for ourselves.
Yeah, so there is about a dozen, probably more than that, maybe a few dozen people who look at these scripts ahead of time and kind of sign off on them theologically. This is why I'm so nitpicky whenever it comes to theological things that are kind of weird within the season 5 of The Chosen, for example. There are not a lot of them, but there are a couple different moments that are like historically maybe or culturally, there are some weird things. Maybe not theologically, I should say that. Theologically, I think it's pretty sound. I think there's a lot of things theologically that are actually really, really, really good within The Chosen. But culturally, historically, there are some moments that are off, particularly when it comes to the temple area. But here, there's a lot of people that look over these scripts, and I like that a lot, not only for The Chosen, but of course for these other projects in which Dallas does not have as much control. As he's about to talk about here, Amazon Prime is the partner for the Joseph series, and so Craig Wright? Yes, Craig Wright is the showrunner for the Joseph series. And so Dallas has not even been there while they've been filming because he's been in Texas shooting the rest of The Chosen, right? I'm sure that he will stop by at some point to go and help because he's an executive producer on it. I'm sure that Ryan and Tyler will stop by and help as well during the filming of this show. But it is kind of scary, right? There's a piece of me that's like, do I trust these people? Do I really trust them to do something that's going to be amazing as The Chosen? I don't know. I don't know, man.
And that because we want to make sure that we are biblically faithful and that we're not doing anything that contradicts the character of God and the Bible. Even when, as you know, we're adding storylines and adding some backstories and things that aren't directly from Scripture, and including in addition to the stuff that we take from Scripture. We want to make sure that it all falls under the same Chosen and 5 and 2 Studios way, our way of doing things. And making sure that when you watch a new show, a new project, that it feels very much like The Chosen is currently feeling now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's hugely key to all of these new shows that are coming out, particularly when it comes to the series that are going to be mismatched, right, with the Joseph series or the Moses series, the Acts series later on, or anything else they decide to do. It needs to feel like The Chosen. Because if it doesn't, it just won't work properly.
So I am, of course, the final creative say on everything, and our Bible experts give us those theological guidelines and that we make sure that we don't go out of those boundaries. So this is a mini-series, 8 episodes. It's entitled Joseph of Egypt. Again, this is financed by Prime Video. So this is separate from Come and See, who's financing the Chosen show right now. So if you're watching and going, well, we're donating to Come and See to finance the Chosen right now. What does this have to do with Joseph of Egypt? Is that money going to Joseph of Egypt?
Yeah, so these are completely separate companies, okay? So Come and See operates on its own outside of 5 and 2, outside of The Chosen, and then 5 and 2 is able to go off and do all these other projects. So the mission of Come and See, while it's outside The Chosen, is to help fund The Chosen specifically until it's done, right? We don't know if whenever the seasons are done, if Come and See will stop existing or if they'll continue to fund other projects. My guess is that they'll continue to fund other projects, right? That makes a lot more sense to me. And so we should see as Come and See continues to raise money for these specific projects, and then The Chosen will go and they will use other means in order to fund other projects. For example, Amazon Prime funding the Joseph series, right? So if you donate to Come and See, not a single dollar of that goes towards Dallas's bank account or towards the Joseph series or towards the Chosen Adventures or towards the future series that they're going to do later on, right? All of that money goes towards The Chosen proper. And in fact, I believe they actually add extra money on top of your money in order to donate it to The Chosen, which is incredible for sure. And so yeah, that's kind of the difference between Come and See and Amazon and all these other projects that they're working on. You have to understand that 5 and 2 is its own entity here. And speaking of Come and See, just like we're talking about here in this video, they allow them to go ahead and shoot all the stuff like they've done for season 6, get it all prepared and edited and post-processed, all that kind of stuff, while they fundraise with us as a group project on the back end. It really is an amazing, amazing company that helps to make The Chosen possible, because without them, I truly believe it wouldn't be. Without the help of you donating toward The Chosen, it wouldn't be a possibility and the show would not exist, as we very well know. All the people that are extras on set, all the people that help to donate weekly or monthly, you guys are absolutely legends, and you help to reach millions upon millions and hopefully the first billion through The Chosen. So really, really amazing stuff. Now, what's being focused on right now is the season finale for The Chosen. This is an incredible undertaking. It's $30 million for the season finale, and they only have about $8 million million left to raise. You guys have done an insane job so far. Just a little bit more to go until we get to the final season 7, the resurrection. So yeah, there's a ton of stuff I could say about this finale, a ton of stuff we've looked at in the behind the scenes. And if you want to be a part of seeing this come to fruition, right now is your chance. Whether that is $5 or $10 or $10 million, whatever you have can be useful to the kingdom. 95% of the people that watch The Chosen have never given a single dollar. I would just encourage you. Is that you? Maybe now's your time. If it's only $5, that's totally fine. If it's $5 million, that's amazing. But that's not what matters. What matters is the heart that you come to give. And God is obviously using this show. So if you want to be a part of it, great. If you don't or you can't, no worries at all. But I think this is a really great time to partner with Come and See. And yeah, I just want you to be a part of it if you can. All right, let's get back to the video.
No, this is the awesome thing. How great of it. How great of it. Man, I am struggling. It's been a long season, guys. So just give me a break. Give me some grace. So how awesome is it that this crowd-funded show that we did, and that has, over the first 5-6 seasons, has been crowd-funded, and Come and See now partnered with us so that they would be financing these episodes. We have gotten to a place where the show has grown so much that other projects are going to be able to be made that you don't have to finance. Prime Video has stepped up and said, we will finance Joseph of Egypt, and we will put it on our streaming platform, but you still get to control the content.
Yeah, this is the biggest thing here for me. I'm super excited about these new things, but if Dallas and the team are not in charge of how it works and how it goes and how it's made, then I have a problem with that, right? However, Dallas is not on set right now, right? So there is some level of control that Dallas is giving up. And of course he has to. He can't be everywhere at once, leading all of these projects at once. There's just not enough time in the day, right? There's not enough time in the year. There's not enough time in his lifetime, right? And so because of that, he has to focus on what he has to focus on. But it's incredibly important that they continue to control these projects.
Nothing about the content changes. We get absolute final say creatively. We make sure that this content is absolutely pure. And Prime Video says, yeah, but we're still willing to finance it. We're still willing to put it on our one of the biggest streaming platforms in the entire world. And so I wanted to give you a sneak peek of Joseph and what's happening. So we sent Chris Durbin and Jelaine, our chosen insiders, to the set to give you a behind-the-scenes look at what's going on. Now, we had to be a little bit careful because we can't show you too much. So, but we are showing you the sets that are being built. You get a little glimpse of how filming's going. So here is a behind-the-scenes look at Joseph of Egypt. Was it day one? Yeah, day one and 2 of filming. Check this out right now.
Yeah, this is really interesting. They actually showed us a lot more than I thought they would. So let's jump into this.
Jelaine, where are we? It looks kind of like Bible-y and chosen-y, but different. Did we take a wrong turn somewhere?
No. Okay, so my first impressions of this when we started watching it were, I'm not sure I love these costumes. They didn't feel very chosen to me. But I think they are meant to be simple. We'll have to see, obviously, in context, what all of this looks like and how everything works here. Remember what time frame we're looking at. We're looking at the Jewish people, 1800 years before Jesus, essentially, and kind of during actually, no, it would be longer than 1800 years before Jesus, wouldn't it? No, it would be around there. Yeah. But anyway, the Jewish people would be slaves, so maybe that plays into it as well. But my first thought off the bat was, I wonder if these costumes are going to look more than this, or if this is it here.
Kind of like Bible-y and chosen-y, but different. Did we take a wrong turn somewhere?
No, but I mean, we're definitely not in Texas anymore. We are actually in Albuquerque, New Mexico for day one of Joseph of Egypt.
Wait, is that who I met earlier?
Yeah.
So there's our first look at Joseph there, kind of putting on his sandal as he's running out of the tent. These tents look very similar to the tents that we've seen both in The Chosen and, of course, for the Promised Land series as well. Very, very similar tents here, maybe even from the same batch, but it's hard to say. without knowing for sure, but there's our first look at Joseph as he's in his, home area here, with, of course, the family that kind of surrounds Jacob, and all the wives and his brothers and everything that's going on there. I'm sure a lot of the shots that we're going to see here include his brothers, from moment to moment. So interested in seeing how all that goes as well.
Isn't Jonathan?
No, that was Joseph for sure. So.
Well, it is the first couple of days of filming for Joseph, the first live action expansion of the Chosen universe. So let's take a look at the first couple of days of filming.
So here we see a couple of names here. We've got Anastasia Cummings, which is a script supervisor. I can't see the full name to the left, but co-producer there. We've got Adam Davidson, who's the director of this, which we haven't really heard that name before. And then we've got Patrick Murguia, which is the director of photography. So interesting.
And background. And action. Alva. You have to put your head. Got.
So he's talking to Jacob within that tent there. Of course, Jacob, also known as Israel, the father of the Israelites, essentially. Other than Abraham, but you know what I'm saying. Really interesting stuff there. We've got some costumes on here, ready to go to some different people. Can't read any names on there, but interesting as well. Here it looks like a group of the brothers, of course, the 12 tribes. This is before Benjamin is born, I believe, but the 11 brothers here.
So on The Chosen, we've got James Cunningham as our production designer, which means he designs all of the amazing sets that you've seen on the show. But here on the Joseph set, we've got Giles Masters.
Yes. Now he's
so Giles Masters, I think was his name there. She kind of sung it, but I think it's Giles Masters. He's done a bunch of stuff in the past. Of course, Chris is going to name a couple of them here.
well known for The Mummy, The Mummy Returns, Stargate, a lot more than that. I just picked the Egyptian themes ones because it just seemed very appropriate right now. But Giles, we are really excited to explore Joseph. Now, if you hear saws and stuff in the background, it's because they're still building these sets. Show us around. What?
Now, remember, while we're looking at this, while we're looking at the set, there's only one season of this show. None of this stuff is going to exist in the future. All of it's going to get taken down, either put into warehouses or thrown away, right? But everything that we're seeing here is made for one season of the show. 8 episodes, which is going to show the entire journey of Joseph here. So, of course, we're going to have Joseph being betrayed by his brothers. He's brought into Egypt. Then he comes to power, and then he helps Pharaoh with everything. And it's going to end with the conclusion of his brothers coming back and him basically leading the Israelites into safety and allowing them to survive the famine within Egypt. And then that is going to run directly into the story of Moses, right? It's going to bring us exactly back to the beginning of Moses, which is where the next series is going to be for the company, right? 5 and 2 goes into Moses after The Chosen. So now they're going to have this chronological storyline of Joseph into Moses, then eventually into the Gospels with The Chosen, and then into Acts later on, right? And so all of that kind of fits there.
What
Where
are
are-
all these
where are we right
amazing
now?
things?
All right, so we're in Pharaoh's audience chamber. We're set.
Super cool. So this is probably where the last scene of the show takes place, where Joseph is going to be having dinner with his brothers. It's probably going to be in here.
The Middle Kingdom of Egypt, which was about 1,800 years before Christ. So this particular set that we're in, we've built as this is when Joseph first arrives in Egypt and gets to meet Pharaoh.
Yeah, I think all this looks really great, especially on camera. It's going to look really good.
And we'll have a big throne here for Pharaoh. Now, this is a big set, and we're going to use it more than once. We'll then be changing it into a temple, the Temple of Isis.
Just like The Chosen does, they're going to be moving things around and going making different rooms look different as they go. But it looks like we're going to have the Temple of Isis at one point, which is really, really cool.
And we bring in a lot more columns, but it'll be very different. Each changeover, we create a different feel. This is what we call the Nile room. All around the walls is a map of Egypt, because the Egyptians didn't have maps like we have maps.
Right.
So we've done a hieroglyphic version of a map of the Nile. All the hieroglyphics and the symbols and all of that have something to do, they tell a story. This is the
really, really well done. I think it all looks amazing.
royal prison, so Pharaoh's prison. You don't want to be down in here.
No, and this is where Joseph is thrown when he resists temptation, but they accuse him and he's thrown here.
100%. So we'll have bar.
Yeah, someone in chat is saying, could these sets possibly be used for the Moses series? I don't think so, because, I mean, maybe a portion of them could in order to save money for that, but that is like 3, maybe even 4 years away from right now. So they're not going to be filming it until, I don't think, like 2029, I think is when they're going to be filming it. So maybe they could save some of this stuff, but I don't think they're going to save everything for sure.
Bars here and a door.
Oh,
Okay, so that'll come in here.
So this is the prison where Joseph is going to be after he kind of denies Potiphar's wife, and all of that kind of stuff happens as well.
Come in here. We're obviously still in plaster. We're about to start painting. But
Yeah, it's really cool to see the behind the scenes of all of them building this up. It's really cool.
this is where the jailer lives, and later on he invites Joseph to come and sleep in his cell, so he's not getting in trouble with the other inmates, All right.
That's interesting. We knew that he becomes like kind of a leader of the jail, helps to manage everything, right? But to hear the jailer kind of brings him away from everybody else and all of that kind of stuff is kind of cool there.
So here we are. We have here built our back.
I do wonder what the coat of many colors is going to look like as well. I kind of mocked up something for the thumbnail of this video that you saw, but outside of that, we don't really know what it's going to look like, right? So I do wonder what the coat of many colors is going to look like and how that will be revealed. That'll be pretty cool.
Plot set, which is our Egyptian city, where Joseph comes and meets Pharaoh. We have the big gates of the city, which are actually going to be about 80 feet tall.
Really?
When we have a bit of visual effects involved.
Yeah, with an Egypt story, with this storyline from Joseph, it really has to feel grandiose, right? Because it's Egypt. This is where the pyramids are, right? This is where the Sphinx, like so many of these massive buildings. Of course, a lot of them aren't built yet, most likely during this time, but a lot of them are like in the process of learning how to build and do these massive things there in Egypt.
And over here we have Potiphar's house. The entrance door of Pharaoh's audience chamber is that.
Right, the big room we were just in the soundstage.
So this matches that. So when you go through the doors here, you arrive on stage.
Yeah, so similar to The Chosen, how they've built this massive set outside. They have the exterior of the buildings, and then they have a set on the soundstage in order to shoot indoors. Makes a lot of sense there.
Great team here. There's such an enthusiasm here for the job. So they're all very happy to get the opportunity to build on this scale and this kind of architecture.
Yeah, I'd love to meet a lot of the people behind the scenes on this one to see kind of like, what their thought process is and how they think about this show and where they come from. I'd love to hear a lot more of that for sure, just to get a grasp on who's making this.
Giles, thank you so much for showing us the sound stages, the back lot.
Thank you, Giles. This was amazing.
We'll see you again soon.
Yes.
Soon.
Okay.
Super cool. This, I think, is the cart that's being used to transport Joseph, maybe, as he's being sold to the slavers here. Yeah, really, really interesting. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me as we look over that. Yeah, I can't really see him in there if there's anybody in there, but cool stuff. This, I'm assuming, is a couple of the brothers, maybe, who are talking about what they should do and what they shouldn't do. Judah, I believe, tries to defend Joseph and saying basically we shouldn't kill him. So that's what I would assume is happening here.
Well, this was so much fun. It's been so cool getting to see the production of Joseph get started and getting to see all these amazing sets.
And this is only the beginning of production. Soon these sets will be done and in their full glory, which means we will be back to give you more of the inside look.
Yeah.
That's super cool. I'm glad we're getting some behind the scenes from the Joseph stuff because I was worried we wouldn't get anything. So, of course, we'll keep you updated on the Joseph stuff here on the channel. All the stuff I can find online, I will try to put it out for you here.
Right now, though, I don't know what that is, but that is really cool, and I'm going to go check it out. Right now.
So really cool stuff. Really looking forward to the Joseph series. If you have thoughts about this, or if you wanted to, know more about what's going on, definitely subscribe to the channel. We're going to have a lot more coming up front. But of course, this is not the only 5 in 2 project that is in the works right now. We've got a bunch of other stuff. So make sure you check out the channel and check out some other videos, including our breakdown on the David animated movie, which is coming out, as well as the Chosen Adventures and the Chosen in the Wild. So really interesting stuff coming, of course, outside of the Chosen itself. Anyway, subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.